Press big button. Hello and welcome to Series 8, Episode 1. And off we go for 2025. I was going to keep the in-between episode. I might still have that murmuring about, but we're going with face value. If you watch my last episode with Gavin Hardcastle, I've introduced the podcasts back onto YouTube. YouTube has a playlist now and a way of tagging your videos to be podcasts. Yeah. When I first did it, I didn't really find this. I thought, I don't want to be putting podcasts on YouTube. But the times, they are a-changing. And popular demand, a few folk asking for this to go on YouTube. So I thought, you know what? It does fill that gap, the in-between. Big and then. I'm using a different setup again. I keep experimenting. Always good. We're on the, where are we? Oh, Saturday the 4th of January. And I'm hoping that face value does exactly that. No Phil Collins mentioned, apart from then. This is just for me to have a jangle, a chat, a jibber jabber. Exactly what I did on the in-between episode, but you get to see my mush and possibly a few overlaid clips. For those people watching in black and white or listening on the podcast, I'll try and describe what you see. Right now what you're seeing is a very compact studio. When I say compact, it's probably the size of a matchbox. It's got a little ship on the door. No, it's the size of a matchbox, yeah. I have to shrink myself down to get in. It feels good though, recording in this space and getting intimate and the mic up and close. But of course, that doesn't work for YouTube, does it? I need one of these boom things, but I think this is why initially I went off and wanted to produce the podcast as audio only, was to develop something that was more intimate and where I could just say whatever I wanted. For some reason, YouTube seems to give you this feeling of it has to be right, correct, edited or produced. I've always thought that, and I've always tried my best to create videos that are polished or at least delivering more than just a talking head in a studio. That's why I don't do many. But times, they really are changing. To fill the gaps, to keep up with ideas, thoughts or creativity, this is a lovely way for me to not be pressured to just share my thoughts, random as they might be. If you've listened to the podcast, Let's Create, Let's Talk, and the in-between episodes, you'll know exactly what I'm on about here. I've got my test sheet here, if you like, and all my details, so opening chat and who I am and start of the in-between. We're just going to be doing a lot of the same, but face value. What I've seen this week, photo story of the week was getting attacked by dogs. We'll come back to that. And then the good news story. Don't know if I've got one for this new year. We'll invent something. No, the good news is it is a new year. It's all afresh. Starts afresh, I guess. In other words, a bit about backups, a bit about files, and getting yourself ready for the year ahead. My photography tip of the week is stay away from dogs when you're out with the camera. No. The thing is, I spend most of my time out and about in the lakes and never have a problem. I've spent loads of time out with my good mate and Bran, Mikey's dog, and he's mad. That dog's bonkers, but he's never gone for me or never been a problem. But we'll get on to this in a bit because I've got quite a lot to talk about and I'm recording on a new setup. So if I keep looking in the wrong place, It's not because I'm scanning or, you know, I need calibrating for 2025. No, it's none of that. We're using the Osmo 4 here. I've got Macromedia. Where did that come from? We're using QuickTime Player, and I've got various screens going on to let me know that the signal's right, that you can see me and all this. Not that it matters. See, this is why I like the in-between episode. I just plugged in, got this mic ready, off I went. All this messing around for my mush. Do you like my light, by the way? I've not hit my 100,000. It's a YouTube light I got sent for these 5 live 1 in 5 creator. I don't even know if it's still going. But I was, got myself a nice light. I thought, you know, let's get down with the kids. If there are any kids watching. 18 to 35, tune in. Come on, let's be having you. Any road, I'm here to do this on YouTube, as I've said, in between, but I'm calling this face value. Let me know your thoughts down below. To kick this off, tomorrow is a big day, Sunday the 5th of January. Why, you might ask? Well, Wendy Bagnall and myself have put together a collaborative workshop in Borrowdale, and I'm really, really excited to announce that it will be launched tomorrow to newsletter subscribers only. For now, just to get it out there, because you guys have gone out your way to subscribe to myself and Wendy, and we felt it was only right that you get the first bite of the cherry. So we're launching that tomorrow to newsletter subscribers only. Sunday the 5th at 9 AM. I'm quite nervous and excited. It's for 6 places, and I hope you can come along and join us for autumn in Borrowdale. It's a bit special, as you have seen some of the images I've been posting of late. One of my last videos I put out there. As you will have seen, I've just put a video out probably just before Christmas, autumn time in the Lake District around Manisty on the other side of Derwent. Beautiful place. We will be visiting there, and many other locations within Borrowdale. I'm not going to say any more. You'll get, if you're signed up to the newsletter, you'll get the email tomorrow. Click the wee little link and book yourself on. Right, this in-between stuff's not as relaxed, this is very strange talking to a camera as a podcast, but I'm sure I'll warm up to it. Any ideas for future episodes, what you'd like to see? I'm not going to go that deep in it. I did start thinking about edits and stuff, but I'm not so sure. But I wanted to announce the workshop because it does mean a lot. And Elements Scotland, my own workshop, the second week is still open. That's all I'm going to say. This week, where are we now? Yeah, New Year fell. Didn't you think it fell weird? I don't like an in-between New Year and Christmas. I like an in-between episode, but I don't like an in-between Christmas, New Year. It always feels like you're losing days somehow. I don't know. I like a Christmas on a weekend. Anyway, since the new year, I've got all my files backed up. Starting afresh. I think everyone, you should do that. Aim for having a cut-off point and then get yourself ready for 2025 in this case. Where you store your files, how you're going to back up your files, and the way you go about your post-processing and possibly looking at streamlining things. I like to keep things snappy and simple, so I use Prime from Amazon, Prime Photos, and they let you back up raw files, so they're all stored on there. Now, Christmas present. The last time I had an iPad was the iPad 1. It's over there on a door, hung up like a photo frame. It's a bit of a museum piece, the iPad 1. And that was the only one I've had. I got that. Everyone else in the family, you know what it's like, they've all got iPads. But this year, I was gifted an iPad 10th gen, nice blue coloured one. And it's a lovely screen. And I thought, I've edited on my phone with Snapseed for years. I was quite excited at the idea of using the iPad to edit photos. So I got Prime photos on there. All my raw files are backed up. From every time I go out, I instantly make sure that they're put on my cloud backup so I can access them. I can save them to my Apple iCloud and then just open them in Snapseed and edit. I haven't put Lightroom on there yet. I've looked and I think I can't seem to get the license to work. I'm gonna have to get in touch with Adobe. But for the moment, I quite like the simplicity of hardly touching the edits, opening them up in Snapseed, and just doing my usual. I like a white border. If you've seen my Instagram, go to Mali Davies Photography on Instagram, or Mali Photography, and you'll see that I put white borders because I just love that framing, the way the grid looks. I know it's sad in it that we think about these things, but as a graphic designer, I do. I like to think about the aesthetics, the presentation. So I use Snapseed for adding borders and possibly just to punch up on the sRGB a little bit for online images. I don't oversaturate. A lot of my images actually are undersaturated because I like that look. But on Snapseed, it just flows. It's a good workflow. And I save them then to the Apple iCloud as JPEGs. So there's a nice storage system going on quite organically. They come from the RAWs on Prime. They hit the iPad or computer because I work this way on my laptop as well. Quick edits, save as JPEGs. They go onto Apple iCloud. Nothing is kept local anymore in terms of photography. My videos are, but I delete all my video files after I've done the edit and it's gone on YouTube. I just keep the final MPEG 4 and save that to an external hard drive, and that's then double backed up. I'm going off here. I don't want to get too complex, but I just thought I'd explain to you about the way I've changed the new year, the storing of files, the getting ready for the year ahead. But there's a slight problem because I've got a lot of content from last year that I feel needs to go out. So if I can squeeze the time, if I can really pull this together, we should be getting a lot of videos from me this year. I say this every year, and then a woe is life, family, everything kicks off, work, but I'm not letting it. I said it in the look back, which no one seems to have picked up on. Just my usual kind, followers and viewers who have watched it, but it struggled. I don't know whether it's my thumbnail, the title, or it's just me and this kind of stuff. Maybe this is why I pulled the podcast from YouTube, if I remember. It didn't resonate. No one wanted to watch. So I'm going to keep this one short. Anyway, the walk in between Christmas and New Year. I do like that word, don't I? In between. The walk that I did getting out. I've got a few toys, as you can see, the Osmo 4, and I need to get, match ready. Hey, I do want another brew. Should I cut here? No, we'll carry on. I need to be match ready for creating these videos, ready to use the cameras, and you get rusty. The YouTube yips pops up again. And I think by just continually practicing just makes this easier, a lot easier. Whether it's any good or not is debatable. But I was out in my local wood, Johnny's Woods, and I was getting some nice shots and playing around with a bit of, ideas, techniques with the camera. I've been doing some ICM with trees, which is interesting. And there was these people with dogs, and this dog came out of nowhere. knocked this Osmo over. I've only had it a day. Cracked the front lens cover. Couldn't believe it. And then bit my leg. Luckily didn't break skin, just got me pants. And then the owners kicked off at me. I couldn't believe it. I didn't lose it at this point. I was quite calm. I just walked off and left them to it. I give them a peace of mind, but nothing. I just let them know. And then off I went. I couldn't believe it. So I gets in the van. I thought, I'm done. I don't even think I'm going to put this video out. I did try to make a video. But it was... If I do put that out, you'll hear the dogs barking. I was thinking of putting that on Patreon because it's funny. There's a bit of me ranting, losing me. Which is rare, I've got to say. So off I went then to another spot that I love. Thinking, oh, I'm going to go home. And there was mist and fog. It was beautiful. And I got some decent shots as well on this day. So I went to Carmel. If you're local to me, you'll know where that is. Having a wander around there. I got attacked by another dog. And he didn't even apologise. The worst thing about this is they didn't even apologise or say, oh, come here, Betsy, or whatever the dog's name was. I put it on a lead or apologise and say, oh, I'm so sorry about that. They just didn't give a shine of light. And off they went. I'm like stood there thinking, you've cracked me camera. I got bloody jumped on again. I were covered in shite. Not a good start to the new year. I could have let that carry on in my mind, and I thought, no. Do you know what? It's an incident that's happened and a bit of a story, and it's not going to stop me. And I ended up getting some cracking images, albeit ranting all the way round where I walked. Sound like him off Home Alone, you know, giving it the... Any road, got back. My legs are safe. There's no holes in them, but people with dogs. I love dogs. I do. Absolutely adore dogs. But the owners... We'll move on. And that about wraps it up. This episode's been about an iPad and getting bit by a dog. Brought to you by Mali Davies Photography. No sponsors on this channel. A few adverts because it puts some fuel in the beast. That's been doing quite well, actually. I call that van, you know, but it's been doing all right for me. So if you've never watched this before, welcome. I hope you've enjoyed my jibber jabber. I hope you'll watch some of my back catalogue as well. That goes for everyone. Don't forget, it's not newspaper. We don't throw this in the bin. They're all there to be seen and watched. Right from the very beginning, which is mad. I often think, should I remove them? I had her then. Anyway. Happy New Year. Have a good one. Get out with your cameras. Sort your files out. Have your file system squeaky. It helps. And some kind of way of workflow will be very beneficial indeed. And going forward with this channel, I need to do that to maintain creativity, producing content, getting these videos out for you as often and as regular as possible. Right. I think we're going to end it there. I've not a clue how long I've been waffling on because my ticker's gone off here. You know what to do. If you've liked this, give us one of them. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. That helps the channel a lot. You can support me and join a thriving and growing community over on Patreon. There's a lot happening with Patreon the end of this month and next month, and hopefully in the real world meetup. So come over and join me on there. I'm doing the online workshops. I'm doing my workshop, Elements in Scotland. We've got a surprise coming very soon for some more meetup style photography. And also, slightly nervous, very excited, myself and Wendy Bagnall putting out The Art of Seeing Borrowdale in the Lake District tomorrow. So if you're not a newsletter subscriber, head over to malidavies.co.uk or maliphotography.co.uk and go to the contact form and sign up. All the links down below. Right, there's only one thing left to say, and that's Sithee.